Hi, I'm Liam, a 27-year-old guy. I've come to terms with the fact that I'm considered conventionally unattractive. It's been a journey getting to this point. Back in my teens and high school days, I struggled a lot with my looks. When I look back, I remember how many times I faced rejection because I was considered below average. It took a long time for me to accept this reality. Even in my childhood, I noticed the concept of pretty privilege. I saw how some people got special treatment or got off easily just because they were conventionally attractive. Meanwhile, I often found myself unfairly accused or overlooked, even when I wasn't at fault. I vividly recall moments from school where my appearance seemed to dictate how others treated me. Classmates would tease me about my looks, and sometimes it felt like a barrier to making friends or being accepted. It's hard to forget the sting of being picked last for sports teams or feeling invisible in social settings. I was always conscious of it, but eventually I came to accept it as a part of who I am. Despite trying various diets and skincare routines, I never quite fit the mold of what society deemed attractive. My girlfriend, Bianca, on the other hand, is stunningly beautiful. Sometimes I find myself wondering why she's even with me. When I asked her out for the first time, I was mentally prepared for rejection, but instead of that, she said yes. At the beginning of our relationship, I was really insecure and asked her many times why she even considered me. Her response was always reassuring. "Bianca, why did you say yes when I asked you out?" "I mean, look at me," I said one evening, "my insecurity's getting the best of me." She smiled and took my hand. "Liam, you are the guy I like, and looks don't matter to me that much. It's who you are that I fell for." Her words meant the world to me, and they helped me start to believe in our relationship. Despite my insecurities, Bianca understood and supported me. Now, we're about to get engaged next month, so I'm feeling a mix of nerves and excitement. Despite her outward beauty, Bianca has always accepted me for who I am, flaws and all. However, deep down, there's always been a lingering doubt: does she truly love me for me, or is there something more she's seeking? As the engagement approached, Bianca's excitement seemed to reach new heights. She was always an astute planner, with a knack for detail that never failed to impress me. I watched as she meticulously curated Pinterest boards filled with wedding themes and decor ideas, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm as she shared her visions with me from a while ago. I admired Bianca's dedication to making our engagement and future wedding perfect, and I offered my input whenever she asked for it. She welcomed my suggestions with open arms, incorporating them seamlessly into her plans. But deep down, I couldn't shake the feeling that her eagerness to create the perfect day extended beyond mere aesthetics. Bianca's insistence on glowing me up, as she called it, was the first hint of trouble. I was also trying to get in shape. At first, I brushed it off as harmless teasing, but as her suggestions became more persistent, I couldn't ignore the underlying message. It wasn't just about looking good for the engagement, it was about meeting some unspoken standard of perfection that I couldn't hope to achieve. Despite my reservations, I didn't intervene in Bianca's preparations. I knew how much this day meant to her, and I didn't want to dampen her spirits with my own insecurities. So I smiled and nodded as she busied herself with arrangements, trusting that she knew what was best for us. All of a sudden, she's pushing me to get contacts and convince me to change it. "BB, glasses ruin your face. I bought these lenses for you, try them once." "Okay, let me try it." Her sudden urge to change my appearance didn't stop there. Bianca's demands only escalate from there. She pushes me to work out and lose weight, insisting on expensive health supplements and skincare products. She even takes control of my hair care routine and starts shopping for my clothes, as if my dressing style is suddenly inadequate in her eyes. It's as though who I was when we first met is no longer good enough for her. And the worst part? It's not just about my appearance. Bianca's desire for physical perfection seems to have affected our intimacy as well. She no longer wants to be as intimate as we once were, leaving me feeling rejected and confused. As I try to navigate this new dynamic in our relationship, I can't help but wonder, is this really what she wants, or am I just not enough for her anymore? As the engagement day got closer, my anxiety went through the roof and I started second-guessing everything. We decided to have the ceremony at this stunning garden outside our city, which was Bianca's dream spot, filled with the most beautiful flowers. One day, I was chilling in the living room when Bianca barged in with this determined look on her face. She told me to change my clothes right then and there so she could take some pictures. Apparently, she wanted to show off to her social group and prove a point about the color scheme or something. I wasn't really feeling it, but I changed anyway. It felt like I was just playing a role in Bianca's big production. She was all smiles, snapping away with her camera, but inside, I was feeling more and more uneasy. I started to wonder if I was just another prop in Bianca's perfect picture, or if there was any real love behind all her planning. The engagement day had arrived, and I found myself at the venue, where preparations were in full swing and guests were beginning to arrive. Bianca looked stunning, having helped me choose my outfit for the day. I was preparing to propose to Bianca as she had envisioned. As the time for the proposal approached, I realized Bianca was nowhere to be found. Concerned, I tried calling her, but she didn't answer. I thought she might be occupied with guests, so I set off to search for her in the sprawling garden hall, which was bustling with activity due to multiple events taking place. Amidst my search, I unexpectedly bumped into a familiar face. "Oh, aren't you Liam?" It took me a moment to recognize her. Memories from our childhood flooded back. She used to live near my house during childhood, and we attended the same school and were in the same class. Unfortunately, we couldn't be friends because our mothers didn't get along, and it was best not to be seen together in front of them. Despite this, we occasionally helped each other out as acquaintances. Anne wasn't just kind, she was a bit of a tomboy as a child, always full of life and energy. I remember one day at the playground when some older boys pushed me off my bicycle and took it away from me. I was in tears, but Anne saw what happened and didn't hesitate to step in. She confronted those boys fearlessly and managed to get my bicycle back. It was a moment that showed me how strong and protective she could be, even at a young age. Despite these acts of kindness and bravery, we maintained a distant friendship, never fully revealing how much we cared for each other beneath the surface. As children, all we knew was that our moms couldn't stand each other, they truly hated one another. We never knew the reason behind their animosity, and we never really bothered to find out. When we were in middle school, I got injured during a football match, and Anne took me to her house without hesitation. She hid me from her parents and tended to my wound, applying ointment to ease the pain. When her dad discovered me, he didn't say much. He just let me rest until my mom came home, understanding the importance of letting me recover without stirring up trouble. But Anne, even though she knew how to avoid causing trouble, always seemed restless. She was smart and sharp, but she liked excitement. Back in high school, I had a bit of a crush on her, but she was too beautiful for me to tell her how I felt. We kept our distance because of our family's issues. Even though we didn't talk much, I admired her from afar and cherished the times we spent together as friends. As if our mom's Cold War wasn't enough, one day at my parents' wedding anniversary party, Anne decided to cause a big scene. Our houses were close to each other, so my bedroom window on the second floor overlooked her house's gallery. I was in my room getting ready when suddenly she climbed in and entered my room. "Hi, Liam." I glanced in the mirror and saw her standing there, and then I turned around, utterly surprised. "Anne, what are you doing here?" "Oh, just searching for Mello. Have you seen him?" "Who's Mello?" "My new cat. He was spotted coming this way, so I thought I'd check here." "No, I haven't seen any cats. You should try looking somewhere else." "Well, I definitely saw him head this way." Anne then peeked out of my window, scanning the front yard of my house. "What's the occasion?" "It's my parents' wedding anniversary." "Oh, anyway." She started heading towards the door, but I quickly stopped her. "Anne, wait, you can't be here. You know that." "Oh, I know. But why are you whispering?" I peered nervously through the window, keeping an eye out for my mom. "If my mom sees you here, relax. She'll be busy with the guests. I'll find Mello and vanish. Simple." I tried to block the door with my hands to stop her, but that's Anne. She brushed past me and went downstairs before I could even react. I ran after her, but the living room was already packed with guests, preventing me from greeting everyone with the usual small talk. Anne had vanished into the crowd. After a few minutes of searching among the guests in my own house, I began to think Anne had slipped away. But just as my parents were about to present the specially ordered cake my mom had been so excited about, she signaled for the waitress to bring it out. Suddenly, a scream echoed from the kitchen, grabbing everyone's attention. Amid the commotion, I heard Anne's voice in the crowd and turned to look in her direction. Following the noise, I hurried toward the kitchen, where the waitress was pointing. What happened? The scene was chaotic. I spotted Anne, cradling a cat in her arms amidst the wreckage of the cake. "There you were. I was looking for." Then she noticed my mom's furious expression. "Oh, hi, Mr. Anderson. Happy wedding anniversary. What are you doing here? It was a disaster. Mello had destroyed the cake, leaving my mom seething with anger. I'm really sorry about Mello and the cake. I'll buy you a new one right away. Let me place the order, and it'll be delivered in no time. She attempted a smile, her eyes pleading with my dad for understanding. Dad, realizing the situation, tried to defuse it. Honey, let's. Julia cut him off, her frustration evident. And not only did you enter my house uninvited, but your cat ruined our cake. Mrs. Anderson, it was an accident. I'm sincerely sorry about that. Mom, why don't we just… Julia silenced me with a hand gesture, her mood souring. Never mind. It's all right, Anne. You can leave now. How can I just leave? Let me order the replacement cake first. No, I don't want your cake. The damage is done. You're just like your mother. But where does my mom come into this? She has nothing to do with this situation. Honey, let's move on. I'll order another cake. Don't worry, Anne, you can go. My mom was extremely upset, but my dad managed to diffuse the tension. After that incident, it became impossible for us to talk. After high school, I moved away, and now I'm seeing her again after so many years. As I snapped out of these past memories, she stood before me once again. Anne? Hi Liam, long time no see. How have you been? You look like… She looked me up and down, her expression surprised. Oh, it's my engagement today. Oh wow, congrats. Thanks. I can't believe it. You look so different now. You used to be so carefree. You clean up well, I bet it's your fiancée who changed you. Actually, I'm looking for her right now. I need to find her. Sorry, but I'll catch up with you later. Of course. Congrats again. After bidding farewell to Anne, I resumed my search for Bianca. I headed towards her dressing room, finding the corridor empty and devoid of any presence. As I approached the door, faint whispers reached my ears, causing my heart to sink despite the hushed tones. When will I receive it, Julia? Don't be so impatient. You'll receive it. Right now, Liam is searching for you. Make sure you're not late. Julia, don't change the subject. What about our deal? You promised me that high-end house, and what about the payment? It won't be delayed. I always pay you on time. Just do your job, and you'll be compensated after the engagement. You'll also get the house after the marriage. The words hit me like a thunderbolt. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My ears started buzzing. Do you realize how difficult it is to deal with him? You better hurry. You'll be paid after the engagement. Do you understand? Bianca remained silent, her hesitation palpable. Julia nudged her elbow, forcing her to turn towards her. Why are you not answering? What's going on? Bianca hesitated, her eyes betraying a mixture of fear and uncertainty. I can't. Julia's expression hardened with impatience. What do you mean you can't? How can you say that now? What's going on in your mind, Bianca? Bianca looked down, gathering her thoughts before finally speaking. I tried to love him, but I can't. I'm scared. I went along because I wanted what you promised, the life, the security. But now I'm terrified that Liam will find out and… Bianca, it's just nerves. Liam cares for you deeply and I only want what's best for him. Surely you want that too. We're going to be a family, and in families there are expectations. Gifts and benefits come with being part of this family. You'll grow to love him in time. Don't let doubt cloud your judgment now. Unable to bear any more of their conversation, I turned back and caught sight of Anne at the adjacent window. It seemed she had overheard everything too. I blinked and unable to meet her gaze, I fled the scene. Distraught and bewildered, I left the garden hall and made my way to the parking lot. Without realizing it, tears streamed down my face as I ran, feeling utterly betrayed and lost. So many thoughts raced through my mind. I couldn't fathom how long my mom had been paying Bianca to be with me, or if Bianca had only approached me because my mom hired her. The realization left me feeling utterly deceived and unsure of everything I once believed about our relationship. I had no idea when I found myself sitting on a bench near the sea, tears streaming down my face. Suddenly, I sensed someone's presence nearby. I glanced to the side and saw Anne approaching. She came over and sat on the edge of the bench beside me. She passed me a tissue and I took it. After a moment, "Do you always carry tissues?" "Not always, but I thought you might need one." "Thanks anyway." "So, Oh, I looked at her, feeling confused. It's none of my business, but I overheard that. Sorry, I didn't mean to pry, but it's okay. What are you going to do? I'm calling off the engagement. That reminds me of all my past failed relationships. My ex-girlfriend once told me I wasn't attractive enough and ended things within a month. Now I realize how challenging it must have been for Bianca to be with someone like me, which is why she tried to change my appearance right before the engagement. And I'm pretty sure my mom played a big role in pushing her to do that. My mom always thought her son deserved the best and never accepted me for who I was. And then what? And then? Anne looked at me, clearly annoyed. Do you even love her? What? Do you truly love the girl you were about to engage? I'm not sure anymore. If she's ever been genuine with me. You are still the same Liam. I gazed at her, waiting for an explanation. You've always been too kind, never standing up for yourself. So you're suggesting I confront my mom or Bianca? Why did they do this? Maybe because my mom thinks I'm not good enough as I am. I've heard it my whole life. You need to show them who you really are, Liam. They underestimate you. How? Oh, you know. She gave me that mischievous look from our childhood days. Anne, what's on your mind? Liam, just trust me. You've never been one to stand up for yourself. I've had to protect you since we were kids. Oh, I can handle this. I stood up and glanced towards the garden hall. Oh, really? How? You'll see. But she gave me a skeptical look. Can I ask you for a favor? Let me think about it. A few seconds later. Well? Sure, I'll help out, but I have a condition. Really? It'll be fun. That's Anne for you, always up to mischief. That's Anne for you, always up to mischief. I returned to the garden hall and found Bianca already waiting. My mom approached me. Where were you? Bianca is waiting. A friend handed me the microphone. As I walked toward where the ceremony was to take place, I saw all our guests, my family, Bianca's family, our friends, everyone. I took Bianca's hands and smiled at her. She pretended to be excited. I took Bianca's hands and managed to smile, though inside I felt a pang of sadness. I began my speech, trying to keep it genuine. Bianca's eyes were already welling up. Bianca, you've been the woman I fell in love with, the one who completes me. You've always stood by me through thick and thin. I glanced over at my mom, who looked so proud at that moment. When I first met you, I felt like the luckiest man alive. When you agreed to date me, it was like heaven. When I was sick, you were right there by my side. I looked into Bianca's eyes, then back at my mom, feeling the weight of everything. You've been my girlfriend, my friend, my family. You've accepted me for who I am, even with all my flaws. And today, on this beautiful day. Bianca smiled, the crowd ready to cheer, and I caught Anne nodding in encouragement. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here to celebrate with us today. I looked back at Bianca, my heart heavy. Bianca, I am sorry. I can't go through with this. Everyone looked confused, thinking I was joking. Liam? She looked confused, surrounded by her sister and friends, and everyone froze for a moment. I'm sorry, but I can't go through with this. I'm breaking off the engagement. Liam? What happened? Why are you doing this? Liam? What kind of joke is this? My dad and the entire family were in utter shock at my decision. After all, I was ending things with the woman I'd loved for 3 years. She was the girl who Elle had been in such a long time. I thought she might be angry, but Bianca looked more relieved and confused than sad. Then she said, Liam, why are you doing this? I don't have feelings for you anymore. I realized it, and there's something else. Bianca's face flushed, and she began to shake. As I stepped down from the aisle, my mom got in the way, questioning my decision. I dodged her, walking toward the corridor. She came up behind me, followed by my dad. Liam, stop. I said stop. I couldn't hold back anymore. I had to face it anyway, so why not today? What? Liam, what are you doing? Bianca is perfect for you. Why are you rejecting her? Liam, I don't understand either. Why are you calling off the engagement? Mom, please. Anyone but you shouldn't be asking that. Both of my parents looked confused. I heard you. Didn't you make a deal with Bianca to be with me? Now, Robert looks at Julia questioningly. What kind of deal? Ask Mom what kind of deal she made with Bianca. Liam. Let me explain. Explain what, Mom? Did I ever ask you to interfere in my life? Did I ever need your help to find someone to be with me? Why did you have to control everything? Did you think I wouldn't figure it out, or that I'd be okay with you arranging my relationship? Tired? Oh, you didn't know, Dad? Mom orchestrated everything. She paid Bianca to be with me, promised her money and a house, and I, like a fool, believed Bianca loved me. I had no idea it was all set up by Mom. Liam, please listen to me. Tell me, Mom. Was my meeting with Bianca a coincidence, or did you plan everything from the beginning? Julia starts sobbing. Julia, what Liam is saying, is it true? I only wanted my son to be happy. She breaks down into tears. Stop crying, Mom. Answer me now. No, I didn't hire Bianca. I only wanted to help you two so you could be happy together. Why would I hire a girl like that? You've misunderstood, Liam. Bianca was listening to the whole conversation and stepped out from the corner. Why are you still lying, Julia? I turned to look at her as she speaks. Liam, I'm sorry for lying to you. I made a mistake. But your mom is lying too. She approached me right after we met. I liked you, but she still offered me money. I refused it back then, but later, you remember when we had that fight. She came to me, offering money and everything. Enough of your lies. You're just after my son's money. You're a gold digger. Mom, stop. I've seen enough of this. I heard a car roaring outside, catching everyone's attention. I looked toward the entrance, where a red car was waiting. The window rolled down and I saw Anne inside. Hi there, need a rescue? I was surprised to see her. I ran towards the car. Who's that? She looks familiar. I got into the car, knowing it was a temporary solution because my mom needed to explain things to my dad. So where should we go? Somewhere quiet and peaceful. Okay. We headed to the beach after a 20-minute ride. I sat on the sand, kicked off my shoes, and loosened my tie. Anne joined me sitting beside me. Thanks for coming to get me. Don't mention it. Actually, if I look back, it's often been you who rescues me. Really? I didn't realize. We shared a laugh. Want anything to drink? I'm good, thanks. I'll grab something for myself then. She left me alone so I could enjoy some quiet time on the beach. A week later, I found myself back at my parents' house after my dad had called, urging me to visit. He was visibly upset about what Mom had done and seemed to have trouble forgiving her just like me. Dad revealed that Mom had asked Bianca to return the money she'd given her, which only added to the mess. I decided to confront Mom. I needed answers. Mom, how could you ask Bianca for the money back? We had an agreement, Liam. She didn't keep her end, so I wanted my money back. It's as simple as that. Do you even realize how wrong this is? Liam, this doesn't concern you. It's between Bianca and me. Mom, how did you even know about Bianca and me? I never introduced her to you, and you somehow knew about our quarrels. How? She hesitated, her expression tightening with discomfort. Liam, I was just looking out for you. I heard things from people around town, and I wanted to make sure you were okay. That doesn't explain everything. You knew personal details about our relationship, things that weren't public knowledge. How did you find out? Well, sometimes a mother knows things. I didn't mean to pry, but I care about you, Liam. Mom, I need to know the truth. Did you spy on me? Did you go behind my back to find out about Bianca? Julia sighed heavily, her eyes showing a mix of guilt and defensiveness. Liam, I was concerned. I might have asked around a bit. I didn't mean any harm, I just wanted to make sure you were with the right person. Concerned? What were you so concerned about, Mom? You crossed a line. Liam, please forgive me, son. Try to understand my intentions. I've tried to understand, but I can't. What you did was, I need some time. Dad, I'm going. I left the house feeling disappointed and frustrated, needing space to process everything. It had been almost 2 months since the engagement fell apart, and Bianca had been texting me frequently. Eventually, I decided it was time to confront her. We met at a local cafe and sat down. This was our first meeting since the breakup, and the air was thick with tension. I didn't want to dwell on the past, so I broke the silence. How have you been? That's what I should have asked you. How are you doing? I'm doing okay, I guess. I need to apologize to you. I should have told you the first time Julia approached me, but something stopped me. I guess I became greedy. I know it's my fault. Would you be able to forgive me? I appreciate you coming clean, but it's late, don't you think? Bianca nodded, looking down at her cup. Maybe after some time I'll be able to forgive you. I did love you after all. I understand. I just wish we had talked about it sooner, so maybe we wouldn't have broken up like that. I know, and I'm sorry for not being more open with you. It's okay, Liam. I just want you to be happy. Thank you, Bianca. I hope we can both find happiness. Me too. Take care, Liam. You too, Bianca. After parting ways with Bianca, I took some time to reflect on everything that had happened. Confronting my mom about her involvement was tough, but necessary for my own peace of mind. Our relationship was strained, but I hoped time would heal those wounds too. One Friday evening, as Anne and I hung out casually, I mustered up the courage to finally tell her something I had kept hidden since childhood. I always wanted to tell you something. What is it? I hesitated, feeling nervous, and took a sip of my drink. Oh, come on, tell me. Don't create suspense. I've always had a crush on you. Anne covered her mouth in surprise. Oh my God. Liam. It's all right. I don't ex. It took you all those years to say those words. You dumbo. Her playful grin was infectious, and I couldn't help but chuckle nervously. Wait, did you know? Liam, you can't be that obvious. Your face turned as red as a tomato every time you tried to talk to me back then, and everyone knew. What? Anne's laughter bubbled up, and I couldn't hide my embarrassment. Come on, Liam. It's okay. I've known for ages. I shook my head in disbelief, surprised by her candidness. FYI, we're friends and not dating because I need to work on myself too. While romance might not be in the cards for us, we're good as friends.